Hello, Maverick traders, and welcome out to your daily currency recap. This is Ankit here, and let's break down today's market price action. It's a Wednesday, January 29th. Let's get into it. As always, we'll be taking a look at broader market analysis, take a look at what the currency baskets are telling us, where the major news reports are, and then we'll talk about possible setups ahead. Let's get into it.
Do you want to be a professional trader? Maverick Currencies is the oldest US-based Forex and crypto prop trading company that will pay you for trading with our capital. Trade our capital and keep 70 to 80% of the profits. We are looking for traders just like you that are hardworking and motivated. Click the apply link on the top right of this video to see if you have what it takes. That link takes you to a 4-minute video that explains the trader position available, and you read a list of FAQs that answer pretty much all the basic questions you have at this point. After watching the video and reading the FAQs, if you're interested, fill out an application, then you'll watch the full-length recruiting video, and then schedule an interview with one of our traders. Are you our next trader?
So jumping around market analysis, let's just jump right into the headlines and the numbers. And you can see that today the market rally did stall. So we did see the equity market did pull back today. And we see this Bank of Canada that got raised by 25 basis points. We had no changes from FOMC. And at the last dollar, again, remains a range bound. So, going back to what we discussed yesterday, we are in this market condition where things have kind of gone sideways. And every day we're just looking at and see if there's any change, or should we expect similar market conditions. So looking at after those two central banks and a lot of the news out of the way, really we haven't really gone or changed much of our outlook here. And we'll get into it when we look at the numbers. You can see that the numbers today was not really spectacular. Look at that. We have the yen did rally. Yesterday yen was weaker. So again, range bound condition, getting back and forth. Dollar did rise, but again, a small move. But overall, as you can see, percentage change wise, it wasn't really a big moving day. Even CAD was most like CAD Canadian dollar basket was flat, even though they cut rates. We have seen the Australian dollar again continues to be on that downward slide, and Kiwi just taking a little pause here. So it was not really a spectacular day. One thing we could just need to continue watching out for is where are we seeing, continuation of that strength. The pound remains strong. Even though on the velocity, it's a small gain, but on a trend, it's just holding on to that. Between the dollar and the yen, again, dollar remains range bound, and yen also continues to be the range bound currency here. So that's really where we are. As we take a look at broader markets, you can see that S&P down, World Stock Index down. Crypto was surprisingly up, but then everything else was really a down day. Now here we are in the cryptos. You can see Bitcoin did the best today, and so did the Litecoin. But as we look at the charts, Bitcoin again looks the best overall. So I don't want to keep emphasizing the fact that Bitcoin is the one that is doing the best. So as far as the trend goes, I think the Bitcoin seems to be a better play in the cryptocurrency space. Now let's get into our outlook. Well, here we are with a +2. Let's just take a look at the chart for the S&P. Again, I want everyone to take a look at this chart and sort of compare that to the currencies, and you will be surprised to see like how, things are kind of moving along across the board. It's just not a currency story. Even in the broader markets, we are seeing this consolidation, this big range that we're trading in. So we are still above this 20 and the 50 moving average, but we can see that this is the resistance. We got a support right here. And again, this continues to bounce back and forth because that's the market environment that we are in right now. Now, let's take a look at the schedule. And looking at the schedule again, we had a majority of our events out of the way. We looked at Aussie CPI yesterday. That was below expectation. And again, that's really what put the pressure on the Australian dollar. Now, we have the Bank of Canada. They cut rates by 25 basis points. And this seems to be, one of those aggressive central banks that have been constantly cutting rates compared to the U.S. that held rates. Now, looking at tomorrow, we have the ECB that's supposed to cut rates by another 25 basis points. So we'll see how the euro would react to it. But outside of that, again, we got some news events. We got the GDP number out of the U.S. Most importantly, on Friday, we got the PCE price index. So maybe those two numbers likely to move the dollar. But as far as now, I think we just want to continue to trade US dollar as that sideways range-bound currency. Now, let's just jump into our currency analysis. Let's see where the velocity score is, and then we'll take a look at possible setups. And as we jump into the velocity score, you can see that pound we want to take a look at has a good velocity score. Yen has a good velocity score, and then we'll take a look at the dollar. On the weaker side, again, we have the Aussie, Kiwi, Euro, and Swiss franc. Again, let's just take a look at those pairings. CAD, again, after that rate cut, again, the outlook remain uncertain, and we just take a look at everywhere else. I don't really see a whole lot of change going into tomorrow. So let's just jump into possible trades ahead.
Do you want to be a professional trader? Maverick Currencies is the oldest US-based Forex and crypto prop trading company that will pay you for trading with our capital. Trade our capital and keep 70 to 80% of the profits. We are looking for traders just like you that are hardworking and motivated. Click the apply link on the top right of this video to see if you have what it takes. That link takes you to a 4-minute video that explains the trader position available, and you read a list of FAQs that answer pretty much all the basic questions you have at this point. After watching the video and reading the FAQs, if you're interested, fill out an application, then you'll watch the full-length recruiting video, and then schedule an interview with one of our traders. Are you our next trader?
So let's just start with the US dollar basket. So I want to sort of highlight where we are. Again, this is the USD basket, and you can see that we are just going sideways. So now you can take a look at this and say, well, the exponential moving average is sort of sliding lower. We are below the parabolic SAR. So again, I think if you look at it from a bigger scheme of things, the US dollar seems to be not in the same bullish mode as it was. It's gone kind of more neutral to sideways. But at the same time, as you bring it down to, let's say, a 4-hour chart, okay, then you can see that, a lot of inconsistency, where you think it's going to break. Like yesterday, it did rise. And then today, when we think it's going to go higher, it did pull back. So again, that's a typical range-bound condition. And unless we break a certain key level, either a support here, or, get above today's high, maybe get above the parabolic SAR, I think this is going to be a bit of a choppy trade. Now, on the other hand, we have the Japanese yen. Same thing, 4-hour chart being a little bit sideways here. So it's really hard to catch traction on that. You can see that it's moving nicely back and forth. And again, once it really breaks out of those ranges, that's the time to really buy. But yeah, at this point, it could be just a wild guess here where it's going to go. Swiss franc, same thing we discussed yesterday, how this thing had a positive velocity, but take a look at this. This is a horrible looking chart if you're trying to trade the Swiss franc here. On the other hand, Euro did sort of continues to pull back. You can see that we got a resistance here, we got a support here. It seems like Euro is a little bit more under pressure here. So not so much, like the price action there. Then here we are with the pound. Now, this is the one that looks the best here. So take a look at this one, high base, and continues to hold on to those gains. So I do like pound to the upside. And then here we are with the CAD. CAD is also going sideways here in the shorter term. But overall, you can see that CAD has been on the sliding scale here. So the question is, should we continue shorting it here? And I think as long as it stays below this exponential moving average, I still like it, further to the downside. But I think there's better shorts out there. So CAD's not really on top of my list here. Now, here we are with the Australian dollar. You can see after the CPI, we are continues to drive this currency lower. Realize that we are right at the closing to the support level. And, in a range-bound condition, I don't really want to play the breakout until it's really, give me a confirmation that's really breaking out here. So as much as Aussie is looking weak, just realize that it's getting towards the support area. And then lastly, we have the Kiwi, which is kind of going sideways. So you can see that here we are, looking at all this, it just doesn't seem to be the greatest time to be, putting a lot of trades on. I know we looked at pound. Let's take a look at Euro against the pound. See how is this one looking. So you can see that we got a resistance here, and this thing has been pulling back nicely. We got below this exponential moving average. So if I have to really look at this chart, I think this seems to me like a decent play here onto the short side. Remember, it continues to play as we look at the support here. It did broke below, but then we can just use this exponential moving average as a guiding level of where stop loss is going to be. Another one we're going to take a look at is pound Swiss franc. Again, This thing also on a daily chart, not a best looking chart on an hourly chart or a 4-hour chart. Maybe this looks like a better looking chart as it breaks above the resistance. So you can see that this is where some opportunities could be. But again, these are not the fast moving trades. They're going to be slow moving trades, but they're going to be a little bit more predictable as far as the relative trend goes. Now, outside of that, has anything changed? Dollar CAD continues to be in that big range that we're dealing with. So don't love the setup over there. And then we could take a look at dollar yen as well, because you can see that this thing is kind of, moving in this little descending triangle here on a 4-hour chart. On the daily chart as well, like this thing is kind of stuck here. So they should really try to decide where the dollar yen is going. Take a look at dollar and yen and then pick those pairings accordingly. But like I said, this is a great time to sort of keep the powder dry. Remember, we have the February 1st deadline that's going to be approaching for US and Canada for tariffs. And again, if that gets pushed, I think we could probably see a big move or relief rally in CAD, and we see a bit of a pullback in the dollar. So in conclusion, I think the range-bound price action likely continue. Based on today's close, we just don't have that big clarity. So we are status quo and just trading the ranges for now. We have the Euro ECB rate statement tomorrow, so we'll be taking a look at some of the Euro crosses. Euro pound is the one that I do like on the short side, but then we can also take a look at other Euro pairs. But that's pretty much it. I think just play the relative strength. Pound looks good, but that's the only thing that is showing more consistency here. Rest, we're just seeing a little bit more sideways price action. So keep the powder dry and wait for the right opportunity. Thanks everyone for joining. See you the next one. Happy trading.